So initially today I had a video on Carlos projects planned, another video on Gates to continue that story, which a lot is coming out about him and him wanting to join the Trump administration. But this story is bigger than MMA, bigger than politics. You know, we fans of the sport, right? Me, you, anybody watching this, we're watching guys fight in a cage, and we like them based on their style, based on what they show in the mic. But beyond that, these are human beings, right? These are humans, and Nick Diaz, right, was one of the biggest stars of his time. You probably know Nick Diaz. He had his fights with Connor. He's had so many big fights. He's a huge star. Fought Jake Paul. But Nick Diaz was the star. I've pulled up his record so many times on my videos. Like, he went on an 18 fight unbeaten streak. Uh, he did lose two fights in that span. One was an overturn for a positive marijuana test, and the other was probably one of the worst doctor stoppages ever. But the thing that you have to take into account is just like any other sports week, just like any other outlet where people can gain stardom. A lot of these guys are young, 20, in their 30s. Like, men's brains don't fully develop until their 30s. This is a study that has been well known for years, right? And, when you put yourself in the shoes of Nick Diaz, there's definitely a lot to unpack. But before I ramble on, I want to pull up this video. Let's see here, window capture. I'm gonna. Hopefully this works. OBS has been really weird lately. But this is the video. I'm not sure who recorded this, but
Nick,
What? What are you doing?
are you okay?
What's that for?
Are you all right?
Yes.
now you can't really see much, and I guarantee you, from your point of view, you can't see much. It's hard in the original clip, but he appears to be lighting grass on fire, and like it's outside of an arcade. I guess it's not good, man. Like, we have Connor, we have Tony. You can go through so many people who have had open addiction. Shane Carlin, that story going on right now, which I will make a video whenever there's an update, or if there's an update to that one. But Nick Diaz, man, like, here, I do it every video that I make on Nick Diaz. Just so you guys understand, Nick Diaz was a huge, huge star. He was a former champ in Strikeforce. Let's see. Where is usually there is Sure Dog, right? So you look at his record, 26-10. On paper, that might not surprise you. But like it may not look impressive when you look into it. Robbie Lawler, man, he did not look good in that fight. Anderson Silva, no contest. That was, I think, when Diaz popped and got the 5-year suspension for marijuana. He fought GSP. This is a massive fight because of the the draw power of GSP and Nick Diaz. Lost to Carlos Condit, and pretty sure it was an interim title fight. BJ Penn, he beat him by unanimous decision in 2011. Still in 2011, a win over BJ Penn was insanely impressive. BJ Penn beating one of the greatest fighters of all time, Paul Daly. This was an insane win because Paul Daly was nasty. He had brutal power. And you go through this, KJ Noons, another guy. Like he went on, this is a basically 16 fight win streak. This doctor stoppage, like I said, referenced earlier, it was the dumbest doctor stoppage I've ever seen. Small cut over his eye stopped the fight. But then before that, beat Mikey on a split decision. This fight was the fight overturned because of him being ridiculously high during the fight. Well, he dominated that fight. And then you go to Gleison Tibur, Josh Neer. Josh Neer was another big one. Ray Stepson. The knockout against Robbie Lawler, probably his most infamous win back in 2004. Both of them were insanely young. This was like a young Robbie Lawler before he left and came back to the UFC. But yeah, submitted Jeremy Jackson, TKO Jeremy Jackson, submitted Joe Hurley. Like, Nick Diaz is in the conversation for one of the greatest fighters of all time. Like, not on the level of GSP or Demetrius Johnson or John Jones, Anderson Silva, but he definitely, in his prime, was one of the best fighters we've ever seen. And put yourself in the position of being at the pinnacle of MMA for years. And you have that all ripped away because of a corrupt athletic commission who suspends you for 5 years for marijuana. Remember, TJ Dillashaw got 2 years for EPO. John Jones got 2 years for Turinabol. He got 5 years, and those 5 years were, I wouldn't say his prime was in strike force, but those were his mid to late 30s, which you're seeing now in MMA. Mid to late 30s are, some of the best years for these fighters. And when Nick Diaz left, that was when the Conor Ronda boom happened. The ESPN came in. Like, UFC became completely mainstream, and Nick Diaz is one of the guys, like one of the pioneers, one of the old guards. And, when he came back against Robbie Lawler, he did not look good. That, indigestion as always, that loss was, it was weird. Nick Diaz did not look like he wanted to be in there. He didn't look like he belonged in there. But, to the hardcore fans that watch his old fights, we know what Nick Diaz was. I went through his record. What if you ever watch his Strike Force run, by the way, go watch his run in Strike Force. It is one of the most insane runs ever. And like the Diaz brothers, we all know they get into massive scraps. You know, it's non-stop pressure. You're getting hit every single second. Like the volume these Diaz brothers have, and you know they run triathlons too. That's the thing. These guys are in wicked shape, but for somebody like Nick Diaz, I'm like he's an uncle for sure because you know Nate has a daughter. I'm pretty sure he has kids. He has a wife, you know, and when you have to deal with going from being at the pinnacle of anything and being a massive star, to have all of that taken away, all the money, all the fame ripped away from you, that fucks with you psychologically. We've seen so many celebrities go downhill. We've seen so many fighters before Nick Diaz that have gone downhill, and you know, I just it's tough, man, because obviously the only way I know these guys is I watched them in a cage, I watched them at a press conference, but when I was a young man, the Diaz brothers were not only far beyond in the promotion side and, you know, saying the funny shit to make you want to see the fights. The Diaz brothers' styles are some of the most entertaining and some of the most brutal styles we've ever seen. Nick Diaz was the star. Nick Diaz was the former champion. Nate Diaz had his shot against Benson Anderson and he lost the fight. He's had a few shots at getting up to the title fight. If he would have knocked out Leon Edwards at the end of their fight, who would have known? Who knows? Maybe we would have seen Nate Diaz as the welterweight champion. You never know. But man, it's beyond the sport though. Like for the sake of Nick Diaz as a person, you know, regardless of not if he returns. Personally, I don't want to see him return after this. I want to see Nick Diaz, you know, I want to see him excel. He's a big name. He already is involved with so many businesses and that. Him and Nate, after they both retired, they can open businesses, like so many businesses together and, you know, provide generational wealth for their family. But, yeah. Like I said, I didn't really plan on making this video. I saw this clip today, just going through YouTube and the news outlets I go through, and you know, it's not good, man. Not good. Like I said though, I'm hoping the best for Nick and Nate. Nate, all their family. Let me know in the comments, so what do you think about this situation with Nick Diaz? What do you think about how the suspension affected him? And yeah, hopefully he gets help, man. Hopefully he gets help. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go make a video, another video on Gates. I have a video on protests I'm gonna make. I don't know if I'll save that for tomorrow or not, but yeah, later.